That's fine. Is that abrupt? Okay, that's fine.
What's your definition of love?
Is there any?
There's
are there any words?
Several different types of conditions and what meanings to love.
I'm talking about the kind in the home.
It's different for everybody, right?
Mm-hmm. There's no household is alike.
How do you experience love in the home, I guess?
As far as towards my parents, towards my children, grandbaby, which of it? Because
all of it is different.
All of it is different. All of it is different. The love I have for my grandparents was much different than the love I have for my mother and father because I wasn't raised by my mom and dad. And so I love my grandparents dearly. Oh, they were just everything to me because the things that they had did for me, and I knew, I didn't know that they were my grandparents until I was 10 years old. Then I was told that they weren't my grandparents, they weren't my parents, they were just my grandparents. But it's different. And my love for my mother, that's my mother, but it's not the love that I have for my grandmother because I wasn't raised up with my mother.
Right.
And the love that I have for my father is, I don't have any love for my father because my father wasn't in my life, period. But my grandfather was, so therefore I poured all I knew, and he poured all he knew within me. My children, I love my children unconditionally. I love my children. And my grandbaby is a different love than my children. Mm-hmm. It's like certain things that I would never allow my kids to do because I love them, I would let my grandbaby do it because I love him even more. So it's just different. You can't, you can't really just sit there. It's hard because my household upbringing, yours, and yours, we're all totally different. So there's all different types of stages of love.
Well, like my children all used to tell me, well, we know, they get a little jealous of each other sometimes. We know you love Debbie more than you love me. Like Debbie's your favorite. I said, no, she isn't. I said, it's just all of you are different, and I handle you different, but I love you all the same because I love my children so much that I would die for my children.
Of course.
Because when I was going through my divorce, my oldest son, my son, and my daughter came to me. They said, "You are the strong one in this household, Mommy." Now they were still in high school, and they came to me. They said, "You are the strong one. You are the strong one. Don't cry. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this together." And hey, that next day I was up and gone. They just put that, and I said, I love my children. I love them all, my grandchildren, and it's just that I cry with them when they cry. I'm sad when they're sad,
You hurt when they're
I'm happy. I'm happy when they're. I'm just so happy. I just want them to be happy all the time.
It's like when your kids tell you something that's going on in their lives, and if it's unhappy, I'm unhappy.
That's right.
And I worry, because I don't know what to do.
Right.
And I don't know how to help them. And they keep pouring it into me, and then I get madder and madder. So it's it's just. And when they tell me they're happy, I'm so happy.
Oh.
I'm just as happy. I guess I flow with them. They're unhappy, I'm unhappy. But it's like, if you make my kids unhappy, you don't want to see me. I'm going to be worse than my children. You keep my kids happy, then I'm happy. So I agree with you on that. My kids have been with me through abusive relationship. I was only in one abusive relationship, but 11 years. Not all of 11 years was abusive, but they was with me through all from the good till I got bad. My kids, and they know everything that I've experienced. And I don't want to see my kids get into a relationship that I was in as what they saw. So if they're calling me and dumping all their problems on about their boyfriend, it just makes me, I'm like, can't think. I'll be at work.
I know it.
I'm smiling, but I'm worried about my kids,
Right,
so
right.
It's just, like she said, I love my children dearly and my grandbaby. If my grandbaby is not running up and running right, then I'm not up and running right. And it's even more because it's a different love with your grandkids. What is it? I can't explain that to you. It's just so
And not to mention,
different.
You could never, ever write your children off no matter what they do.
No. I have gotten mad when I'm through. You done made me mad.
But now this one thing, now I love them, but if they come to me with the problem about, their little marriages and stuff like that, I shouldn't say little, because it's big to them at the time. And then if they're wrong, I say, you're wrong.
That's right.
And Kenny's right, or Cedric's right this time. You're wrong, Mom. I can
Because they
see
always-
their face, but I can hear it in their voice, Mom. And then I explain it to them.
They want you to always be on their side,
but
you
but
can't.
I'm
no
not.
matter what.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to hear the boyfriend's
But
side.
for
And you know what?
their-
That's my
for their own
problem.
sake, you have to be.
But see, that's my problem. That's why I don't want my kids to tell me nothing,
Well,
because I'm not going to listen to what
biased.
he has to say. I'm all up on them. So don't tell, if you don't want me to know, don't tell me, because I get upset. And I don't want to hear nothing he has to say, because he's the one that's making me unhappy. So therefore, I'm going to be mad at him. And maybe I need to look down at both sides, but I can't.
Because you
Not
know
right
why
now, I
I
can't.
think you need to look at both sides sometimes. You all the time is because now, like if I would be on one side so much and I know that they love each other, they really
Because no matter
love
what
each
you say or
other,
do, whose side you're on, they're
and
still
they're
going
going
to
to
be.
make up. So I'm gonna, if you're wrong, I'm gonna say, now you sit down and you think about this, because you know you shouldn't have said that and you shouldn't have done that. Wake up and smell the coffee. And then I said, go talk to him. I tell him, I said, go talk to Kenny or whoever happens to be. I said, go talk to him and just find out what he really meant before you jump to conclusion. And then she might call me back 3 days later. You're right, Mom. I said, see, you always try to talk things over and get things squared away.
They'll dump it all on you now, because that's how they feel them. And you're not really having a chance to hear what's going on, but I see you didn't for me, Phyllis. No.
Now
My kids come calling me mad, I'm mad.
Oh yeah,
And I ain't got time to hear what
You
you
know,
got to say. I need to do what I got to do.
Yeah,
Because I'm upset. My baby's
I
upset.
get
You
mad
can't
too,
do
but
that.
after I listen to it, after when she tells me, so what did he do? You know, I get that way. So now wait a minute first. Now tell me the whole story. Then they tell me they're gonna tell me the whole story. I said, uh-oh, now you just back up. And my one daughter Denise called me the other night and she said, Mom, she's been writing poems and stuff. She was kind of depressed for a little while because she almost had a stroke. Niecy did.
She's
And-
young, too young. to
Yeah,
be
but her
mad.
blood pressure's real high. And so she was writing all kind of poems, and she read those poems to me, and I cried. Oh, they were
Oh,
Kelly, they were so. She talked about her oldest son. He was giving her problems, not serious problems. But then she wrote this poem about you were born. Oh, I'm gonna have to let her just
Girl,
bring it to me.
I'm telling
And
you.
I just cried. We cried together. She said, Mom, this made me feel good. She said, Mom, you're my best friend. She said, and I have to call you and dump on you.
Yeah.
Because you are my best friend. And I can talk to you and you tell me right and you tell me if I'm
Well,
wrong.
it makes me
And
so
that just
mad.
made me feel wonderful.
Because your kids are adults.
Right.
You have what's the youngest of your children?
Dina is 28 or 29.
Okay. And see, the youngest of mine is 21.
So
I'm in
they're-
the group. I'm in the age bracket where I can't tell them nothing. They don't want to hear nothing I'm trying to talk about, and I'm telling them
That's right. You telling them right.
And then when everything is said and done, they're not gonna come back and tell me.
that you were right.
not yet.
But
So
Mom,
they'll flip the
They
script.
will. They will.
They'll flip the script and put a scene where it won't come out of their mouth, but they'll show me.
But Kim, they will. Wait till they get older. They're gonna come back and say, Mama, do you know when this happened and that happened?
When it's
you were
humbling.
right.
Yeah, because I try to tell them, I tell them all the time, I said, now you was with me and you knew everything that I went through. And Lord knows you don't need to be looking at nobody who has that type of history. So you know the symptoms of what's going on.
Right.
But
Right.
So, how? Okay, sorry to
That's
bring
okay.
you back
That's
in,
okay.
but how do you make a house a home? I know I'm sorry I'm interrupting, but like, is it? I mean, how do you make a house a home? That's what I want to know.
that again depends on the situation of the household. It just depends on the household. With me, I did the best I could do with my children to make it a home, not a house, a home.
And what'd you do? What was
Through everything that I have been through, I tried to better everything as being a mother that I have been through. And because I was going through something, and my children were witnessing that, I think that they thought that this home wouldn't be, but I had to double time up and let them know everything is not like this. Everything is not like this, and it won't always be like this. So I had to really double down and make my kids feel at home and secure that they have a place to stay.
Right.
Regardless of what's going on, this is their home, and that's how I had to do it. Even regardless, like I said, of everything that I was going through, I had to double down for my children because they had witnessed so much.
How did you make them happy going through so much? How did you keep things happy?
I kept things happy because I called us a 3-pack. It was me and my 2 children. So therefore, I don't care what was going on with me and him. he knew that this is another boundary, and I didn't want I didn't want to argue in front of my children, but sometimes it would happen. And I always would make sure that we did stuff together, even though they were sad. I tried to do things as a family, and it would work, you know, it seemed to work. Then they got so tough that as everything started getting worse and I was getting ready to get out of it, that we would all be fighting. He couldn't just fight me, you know. But he would never put his hands on my children. But they had my back, and they, you know, they was like, we got your back. You know, he better never come out here and say nothing until everything was said and done. But I was a person that had to get out of that, because it never got better. It subsided for a couple years, and boom, something else was snapping back up, and we'd be right back in the same situation I was. I had to be the one to get away from him and move into another home, not a house, and make that with the three of us. And that's just what I did. You know, that's just what I did. And by talking to my children, letting them know it is okay. All men ain't like this, you know, because they were thinking that, well, all, you know, like this, but.
And sometimes they'll tend to pick that type of a man if
They
you're
will.
not careful.
That's right.
To instill the
That's right. And it's hard. It's really hard to do it because a man can be just sweet and kind, and loving, and so-called faithful, and be a nutcase, be a psychopath. And like I said, I was telling you earlier today, my kids know all the signs because of the person that I was dealing with at that particular time. They know all the little signs, but I'm sure there's some out there that got tougher signs that we have, that I probably haven't seen. But me and my kids became so much stronger and together as more of sisters. My kids call me by my first name. They don't call me mama. We became, after all of that was said and done, we became just like this. But then they became teenagers, and I couldn't tell them nothing, you know. And the other one went to college and all, you know. Just, I guess, what normal teenagers would do. But now, I've had problems with both of my children. Not nothing really bad, but now they seem like they've changed a little bit. And we still go through certain stuff, you know, that as being a mother trying to tell her two children, and they're grown, they don't want to hear what I have to say. But, you know, you just have to stay focused. Not just say that. Just stay focused on it.
I think that's a very hard question.
Well, this is the way you make your house. To me, the way you make your house a home is first of all, you know, you make your home secure.
You have to.
You make your home safe for your children. Then what I always did was make my children know that they could always bring their friends home.
Yep.
They could always, you know, their friends could come in and meet me and come into the home, and they could just come in. All their friends came in. They would come in and cook. They would spend the night. They would do everything. They loved to come. Yes, and my kids loved. We can't wait to get home because, you know, I mean, I wasn't just free with them, let them just do anything they wanted to do, but they felt comfortable enough and felt that I had made a home for them. Even when we were all in a 2-bedroom home, it was still a home because the kids loved to come there. They just, and if I see them today, you know, those kids growing today, some of the white kids, they remember me. And you know, I said, I don't remember. Well, Miss White, you know, you were so sweet. We always could come to your house, you know. But I didn't remember them, but it's just something that kids keep.
Yeah, you know, and that's the truth.
They keep that on there.
When I first moved here, there was a lot of young boys all up in my daughter's face. You know, I had to be the mother at that time, and I had to be the father. You get out of my daughter's face, you stay away from my daughter. But as time went on, these young men that were interested in my daughter had gotten to the point where they didn't want to come and see my kids. They wanted to come see me. We want to see how Miss Kim was doing. Because after they realized that this is what I have to make as the rules I have in my house, because I am the mother and father right now, and you can't just come up in here because you see my daughter sitting on the porch and think you're going to come up here and do that. I had to have boundaries on that, and my kids respected me. They had boundaries on that too.
Right.
But some of the, like a young guy, he just came, it was Friday evening, he came to my house. I just wanted to come and see how you was doing. And he was the main one. They said to run off my porch when we first moved here. But it got to the point where they had more male friends than they had female friends. And then it got to the point where I was comfortable with some of the male friends, and I wasn't comfortable with all the male friends, but I learned that you can't let your daughters be around a whole lot of male friends because they can be smart and you wouldn't know which one.
Oh yeah,
Because they all gonna stick together. You know, they all gonna stick
right.
together, but
you didn't know what was going on.
you didn't know what
now.
was going
What's
on. You know, but you had
five daughters,
and they had a
my
brother.
son- and they had
See,
a brother.
my kids didn't have no brother. See, it would have been just me.
And with all those, I'm sorry. Go ahead, sweetheart. Kelly, did you want to say? I'm just
I want to
bumping you
say
up. Go
one
ahead.
thing. I don't have a lot of money. I have 3 children. One's a
Oh,
teenager.
really?
Now listen, let me see my story.
Yeah.
My oldest one is a teenager, and her friends, all their parents have money. Unlike me, I have nothing. Our house, we don't have Nintendo. We don't have big stereos. We don't have computers. We don't have any of that kind of stuff. She's got a nice little stereo, but anyways. All of her friends have all this good stuff. Okay, you'd think that all these kids want to go elsewhere.
But they want to
come to my
That's
house
right.
with nothing.
That's right.
Even when we didn't even have cable, just a regular antenna TV, you could see hardly nothing. These kids want to come to my house
Why do you think that is?
because it is fun at my house. We
They
make
can
it
be
so
comfortable.
happy and comfortable and
Right.
fun without having all that
That's
stuff.
right.
And thank goodness, of course,
You
I
can
can't
play
afford
games.
it.
You know,
Make up
it was
games,
like
play
my
games.
apartment. I lived in an apartment one time, and I didn't have nothing but lawn chairs, a stereo and TV in my house, bed for my kids, beds for my kids, and I didn't have nothing. I didn't have no furniture. I had lawn chairs, a stereo, a TV, and my kids' bed in my bed. And my apartment was everybody was always at my apartment, and I never had any. Furniture or
just the way
I
you
didn't even have a
make
kitchen
it.
table. Matter of fact, I was drinking out of mayonnaise jars. Peanut butter jars. I had a whole collection. You would thought that was crystal to me. You know, that's what we had. When I was coming up trying to raise my 2 kids together.
So why do you think everyone felt like that?
No, it's just I can't tell you because I made it comfortable. It was comfortable in my home. It was safe in my home, and you could just always feel like when you go to somebody's home. Sometimes you could go to people's house for the very, very, very first time and don't feel comfortable in that home. And I don't know why that is, because some people don't like you doing this, don't touch that, don't touch it. But see, I have never been like that. I'm not even like that with my grandson because I'm just not like that. He can come around all up and through my house, and I really wouldn't care. But another person would probably feel different. I do think it is how the person is running their home, as how it makes you feel when you walk into that person's house. I think that has a whole lot to do with it. And when people came to my house, we were just comfortable, even though I didn't have nothing.
When you moved out from your relationship and then you bought
It's not what you
yes, here.
It's what you
into
put
this
in.
house,
Right.
how did you make it home? Was the little touches that you put into it, or was it
I see
after the
that.
first
You know what I
birthday,
mean?
or was
Now
it
that
the
we've
first
been
Christmas?
talking
You guys
about it, I
started
never
building
really-
memories in this house.
Oh, I was doing, we was already doing that there,
I know.
because he was almost out the picture where I was at.
That's right.
Okay.
But the only way, and we had already started building up all that.
On this fella.
That part of the relationship was always there.
Talking with you.
Thank you.
It was me and him
I
that
really do.
the biggest problem was me and him. But all of that was always there, even though it was abusive between me and him. My kids never did without. They always had stuff. So that part was there. When I got here, I made sure that little part of it, the good little part, I said, my relationship would always stay. He was out the picture, so now it was just us. And by the time I moved here, my daughter was already in college. By the time I had moved here, so they always had that type of feeling. We were just so glad he was gone. He looked better going than he did coming at that time. So that's how. And that part, we always had that part. It was just him. He was the key thing to everything being sour, so to speak. And it was my responsibility to get him out the household. But it took me that long.
What makes your house
To get away
different
from
other, or home different from other homes? Or I'm sorry.
I told him this. I said,
We're still on that.
this was
What
my
makes
input.
your home
I
yours
think
is what I said.
she asked him how come they feel like that. People come in your house and feel that comfort in your home. Sometimes I believe it's that person's house. When you step in that person's house, and if you feel uncomfortable, you'll know it because they don't want you to stay there. Don't touch that.
But your
Don't do
house.
that.
Oh,
Your house
no, you
is-
should never have a house that is uncomfortable
But
for
there's some
anybody.
people
Now,
that you can go to a house
This is
and you
the
can be
thing.
uncomfortable
This
like
is
that.
the thing. When a person walks into your home, your home emits a personality.
It's you. It's everything that you are.
And they can feel it.
Yeah.
And they'll know if they're comfortable. They know if they're going to feel welcome in that home because it emits this.
From the front, when you walk through that door,
Yes.
you can tell it. The minute you walk through the door.
Absolutely.
The minute you walk through the door, you can
And I
feel
will
it.
not go back to a place that I feel
Me
extremely
either.
uncomfortable
Me
in.
either.
I will not do it.
Me either.
Because it's too much.
Me
And I don't
either.
want anyone to ever feel like they couldn't come
I
to
was
my
telling
house.
her, you know, like some people, well, you let your kids do that. Yeah, please. This ain't nothing, but this can be replaced. I mean, you know, this ain't nothing. My grandson runs all up and through this house, jumps all on my furniture. I don't care about all that. You know, that don't bother me. That could be replaced. It's not like I got something that can't never be
Speaking
replaced.
of
This ain't
which,
number
I
furniture.
love
This ain't
that.
nothing but this. This all can be replaced.
I love this.
So I would never cherish this the way it this. I told her that I'm going to sell her this furniture when I get my leather furniture. So that's why she like. And believe it or not, I've had this furniture 9 years.
Isn't it beautiful?
Oh, it's good shape.
Yes, it is.
I think that's my
Is
phone.
it-
I'm
oh.
sorry. I'll turn it off.
Mike,
You might need to take that because it could be important.
It's not important.
Well,
Okay.
Anyway, so what was I gonna say? I don't know. Go ahead with yours.
Has Muncie grown to accept more biracial relations, and can you define what a biracial relation is?
My daughter's in a biracial relationship right now.
I think it has, don't you?
A little.
A little bit.
It-
You
a
see a
little.
lot more
You got
today
to,
than you
but
did.
you run across people that fronting
Yeah.
Meaning.
like I accept it, but in actuality they really don't because they say little certain things that you can hear that they don't.
But there
Exactly.
is more.
Oh yes, and it's due to the younger generation that's coming up now that is more acceptive than the older generation
Yes.
of.
and it might
biracial.
not be more. It's just more in the open.
Open.
Yes.
It's not locked down.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's exactly.
People were still
accepted.
doing it and a long time ago. That was going on.
Yes.
But now it's more open,
I
and
think
now
it's
you
more
now see
accepted.
a long time back. You see white men. You didn't see white men with black women,
but you're seeing that now.
but you didn't see it. It was going on, but it wasn't in the open.
Mhm.
Now
It is.
it's in
And
the
my
open.
youngest daughter's with a white young man.
Yes. And my sister married a black man, had 3 children, absolutely the most beautiful children, other than mine, of course. But they're right up there with
Yeah,
them.
you do have some gorgeous.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, they sure
Who,
are.
my kids?
And my brother
Yeah,
is
you-
married.
it's-
I have a white sister-in-law
Okay.
as well. So see, I got it on.
Well,
You know.
all 3 of my nephews married.
So
So your extended family is
So,
yeah.
more biracial.
yeah.
Mhm.
hmm
Has that changed the way your family interacts or anything?
No.
My family, you know, like I said, I was raised by my grandparents. So my grandparents, my grandmother cleaned house for 2 doctors and a lawyer. So I was always raised in the atmosphere of going to parties and stuff with my grandparents, and more white than it was black. My grandmother never put into me that you don't do that. There's no difference. I never saw a difference in what color you were, and that's just how I was raised. Until I got older and realized that a lot of people didn't accept that, but I didn't know that then because I was always around white people, so to speak. Yeah, intermixed.
atmosphere.
And I'm talking about big shots. I'm not talking about no that took care of me because my grandmother cleaned their home. I got good stuff. I got expensive stuff. I was the first one on the block to have a pair of ice skates. I thought I was the bomb.
Chris Webb.
Shoot, you better know it. I thought I was rich, girl. And so that's, so it is different then. And I didn't know that people didn't like black people, in interracial relationships until I got older and realized that.
We were a little afraid that my dad's family's from the South. We were a little afraid that they might not be as accepting, but it turned out we were so wrong.
Yeah.
They were absolutely perfectly wonderful about it. So,
When the grandbabies
Love
come,
'em.
that's what did it.
oh yeah.
Because when
Love
my
'em.
brother married the lady's married to now, I was like, oh, they are not going to accept this, and I said, I know this is just it. But when we sat down and we got to meet them, they were so crazy about my brother. I was like, and then when my brother's son came along, they were just like, oh.
And it was just
And they were
the
from
icing on the
Gaston.
cake when the babies
Oh,
So
came.
you
wow.
can imagine why I
Yeah,
felt like that because
right.
her parents are from Gaston. She grew up in Gaston, so.
So you
Now-
think maybe if it's not accepted at first, or people are kind of like, but as soon as
It's always been there. I mean,
Yeah.
Or even like
just not as, like you said, Phyllis, it's not as open as it is now. It's always been there.
So that first like bonding experience, like a baby coming,
Or like
first.
a memory, like a birthday party or something like that, like a Christmas
Breaks the
or.
ice.
Do you think that helps too with breaking ice?
When the both sides of the family
Right.
Get together.
and get to know each other,
Right.
and find out, hey, we're not that different.
Right.
Right.
You know, we all think that we all believe in having family reunions and having get-togethers, and you
loving
love
one
your kids,
another.
and you're just like I love mine.
Mhm.
You know.
Have you met the families
Oh,
of
yeah.
your okay?
Oh yeah.
Have you had events with them?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They're family.
Has it been
I mean,
pretty comfortable all
Oh,
along?
Sure. Everything's been.
yeah.
Now I'm gonna tell you when my kids were coming up, I'm gonna tell you this is the truth. Now, but I said this, and so, deep down inside of me, I still feel this way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I told my kids, I said when they were dating, they dated white boys, you know, in high school, and my son did too. And I said, I want you guys to stick in your own race. I said, I don't believe in interracial marriages. I want you to stick in your own race. I do not like that. You know, that's what I told him then, because I said the children will have such a rough time.
See, that's
Back
what
then-
everybody thinks.
Back then, you know, I said when I was bringing my kids, and back then they did have a rough time.
Yes, they
Exactly.
did.
Now
It's more acceptable.
since there's so many more, like, it's out in the open, and so many more biracial children, the world's going to be full of those children
You got
pretty
that
soon.
right.
So,
But
so
if you
now
stop
it's
and
okay.
think about it, even with a biracial child or with any child, no one is just one thing anymore.
Right.
There's more. There's
It's a melting.
yeah,
it's a
it
melting pot.
is. Everybody.
But you know, now I'm kind of coming out of that, because now I had my one daughter. She married a Japanese, you know, but and then she was always teetering on, you know, white guys. She's always done that. So I just learned to accept it. I said, if you love someone, you're both human beings. You're both people. If you love
can't help who
someone,
you fall in
that's
love
it.
with.
You know, love them. I'll love them because you love them. As long as they treat you like you're supposed to be treated,
Right.
you treat them. You know, it's okay.
Yeah,
But
that's-
way back, I didn't.
Right. Do you think that's one reason, like, why it's more unopened, or why it's more like kept now, is because there are more biracial children and they don't face as much hardships as they used to?
And also because people are accepting it. They can't do anything about it,
Right.
so they're accepting.
Is there still some hostility in Muncie with
Oh
biracial?
yeah, I
Oh,
think there
yes.
is. Yes.
How do you think it comes out? Like, is it
Well,
there open
sometimes.
hostility? Is it underground? Or?
Well, no. Sometimes you can hear some black girls or some black people saying things derogatory about the white girl, if she's going with the black guy, or what they're going to do. You know, sometimes you hear those type of remarks. You know.
You also hear remarks from white women who are just ignorant, and they say derogatory slurs towards little black girls.
Right.
They can't defend themselves because they're children,
Right.
but they're ignorant.
Right.
Those white women
Right.
are ignorant.
That's right. Like they do
I am
Nicole.
so angry about that.
Oh,
But that's
yeah.
because Nicole's allowing that to go that far. Because I wouldn't allow I put that fire out right then and there. And nothing else would be said to my children.
Yeah,
That's something
because
said
that
to
was-
me.
There are
I put
ignorant
that candle
people,
out
definitely.
right then and there.
Is
She
there
gonna say
a
nothing.
specific instance you're thinking of, or?
Oh, I don't know.
One of our
Well,
co-workers,
if she was here, Nicole would tell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she would, but I don't know.
was having problems with a neighbor across the street who is just hating her little girl for some
And her little girl's a black little girl.
She's calling her.
And the neighbor is a
and-
white woman.
Yes. And Nicole needs to step in there
And
and
she says
put
some
that
really
candle out
nasty
and
things
call
to
it a
this
day.
little girl.
And they ain't gonna hear no more. I said, I'm not gonna hear no more from your mouth. And because I feel like this, I don't care if this neighborhood was all white and I was the only black person in this area. As long as I'm treating you good, give me the same respect. Don't come up to me and say nothing to me if I've never said anything to you out of the way, but try to be nice to you or any of my children or any member that comes into my home.
My children now.
You know, because I don't like that. You know, if I'm treating you right, treat me right. You know, and you know that's just all this. Or if this neighborhood was all black and there was only one white person in the neighborhood, I wouldn't treat that person no different because they're white and they had children. I wouldn't treat them no different.
Right.
You know, but
Yeah,
you
'cause see,
find
that's
people that
happening.
do.
'Cause I'm-
So you think
Ignorant
overall,
people.
you think overall it's getting better, but there's still definitely a lot of room.
Oh,
Yo, you
yeah.
still,
Yeah.
They're still
There's
far
a lot.
from
Yeah.
There's a
acceptance.
long
Yeah.
way to go.
Mhm.
Long way to go.
Yeah, a long.
What do you
There's
think
a lot of people
the
that way.
community can do to embrace these differences?
Well, you know, that's like our job. For instance, we get all kind of racial stuff
Yes,
on
we
our
do.
job. I bet if I was
We-
black,
if I was
could
black, I'd
get
get
this.
anything I
Yes.
want.
I would want to.
The majority of our
And we
clients
have
are
a
white.
black woman says the same
And
thing.
we
Us
say we
white,
have the
I'd
black
be
people say
there.
the same thing.
Is it simply ignorance, like lack
Yes,
of
it is.
education, basically?
Ignorance, uneducated
That's what
ignorance.
she said.
That's exactly what
Well,
it is.
Is it the school's responsibility or the parents? Where
It
how
starts
do
in
they
your
make
home.
changes?
Yeah,
How
It
do-
starts in your home.
Oh yeah.
That's where it starts at. In your home. It's how you
Most-
educate your kids.
Most
That's what it is.
Children repeat what they've seen,
Right.
so if their parents are ignorant, they're going to be ignorant.
Of course.
too.
Absolutely.
So
Of
how
course.
can-
If you, you have to keep
You
that
have to
going.
step
You
in.
can't
But
do
if
that.
it starts in the home, though, there's no
That's
way
right.
to break
Because
that.
that's their upbringing. That's how
Unless
they
they
feel,
break it.
and that's the only way that they know how
Right.
to deal with
Right.
it.
Until
People
they,
of color.
until they grow up,
Experience
maybe
something.
if they grow, you know, like in the home, like say we're gonna take the Ku Klux Klans and people, the white people down south, or even here, because we still have that here, and they raise the kids up to hate, you know, just preaching it and have things all over the house. Hate. Then when that little child grows up and goes off to school and meets people of different,
He's not gonna know how to. They're not gonna know how to.
no. He might just
There is
say,
that chance.
this is not the way it's supposed to be.
There is
So
that chance.
they'll see things different than their
you
parents.
watch
did.
the
So you
movie
think it takes an outside
Rosewood?
experience then?
A lot of times it
possibly?
can.
Did you ever watch the movie Rosewood?
Yes,
Yes.
I
Did you
did.
see the little boy on there where the daddy was wanting to kill the black dude, and the little boy said no?
Yes.
No, that is
yes,
not what I
yes.
need to.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
So,
he was friends with
Yeah,
that little
so,
guy, and he
yeah.
and he said he knew. He said, "There's no difference.
right.
You know, there's no difference in. We like to do the same
Children
things."
do not know the different colors of
No,
anyone
they don't.
until they are
Told.
told. My children have cousins who are biracial, and they did not see the color on their
Mhm.
faces until the teachers at school set it, split it all up and told them black and white
Mm-hmm.
what the difference was, which there is
And,
no
and I'm gonna tell you
difference.
something else too. If you notice that if the parents got an issue problem with race, be it a black person have an issue with white,
Yeah.
be it a
Worse
white
and worse
person
both
has an
ways.
issue with a black person, them little kids gonna still play with each other.
Yes,
it
they
does
are.
not
Yeah.
matter. They can tell
They
them.
don't care.
They're gonna sneak and find a way to play with each other because it's the ignorance of their parents
You know,
and the
it was
teaching
on
that
that.
their parents are doing. As far as
I
I'm
think it
concerned.
was on one of those talk shows. Maybe you guys seen it, where they were having the Ku Klux Klans on, and they were having the blacks and Ku Klux Klans on. Okay, they had their children all in the back room, black and the white children, and them they were just playing, having a good time. You didn't even know that they're the parents out there
Yeah,
feuding
yeah.
over who's the supreme
Who's
person
superior.
here.
You
Who's
know,
that?
like
You know, and the kids that they were still wanting to play when they brought them out on stage
Yeah.
and put them on. The little kids were just trying to reach for each other and play with
see,
each
and
other.
that's crazy to me.
What can the community do then to make these changes? Because are we talking about it? Are we doing anything?
It's
What
like
do you
this.
think?
This has been going on for
Muncie's
years. The
doing.
community has been involved in it for years, and some of the stuff
Muncie?
is the community period has been involved with it for years, and nothing has really changed
Now-
in certain areas. In certain areas,
I mean,
nothing has changed.
Such
Community doesn't matter what comes down to them. There's still going to be somebody that's still going to be there.
Do you
I
think
don't
there
know.
are
You know,
neighborhoods
because-
still broken up into white areas and black areas?
Yes,
Good job. That was my next question.
that was our
That's
next
a
question.
good question.
yes,
What
it
if-
is.
Well,
A friend of mine,
You know,
a friend
and
of mine
that
that I know,
friend
and she is a doctor.
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna call her name. She's a doctor, and she's married to a white man.
Mhm.
They were going to move to Woodland Trails,
Mhm.
get a home in Woodland Trails, and some of the people in Woodland Trails was not gonna have it. And this is just recently.
Because she's a black
Because she's
woman.
black,
That's what I was
she's
gonna say.
successful, and she's got it going on, and she's married to a white man who has it going on as well. And they're
But
still
then they
not.
not very long ago, I'm not gonna say, I don't know how many years ago, these people moved over in Shedtown. They had to move out because they burned
Sure
a cross
did,
in their
yeah.
yard. Oh, in their
Yes,
yard.
my uncle. This is back in 1980. This is just a clear shot. 84. Right where you at right now. I can't think. Okay, here's your apartment complexes here,
Mhm.
but there's another street that's facing you, facing that street, off of Centennial.
Laurel.
Yes. The corner house, if you're coming on Centennial and you're going to your house,
Yeah.
and you make a left,
Right.
it'll be the house on the right. My uncle and them used to live there. They got crosses burned in that yard
What?
for, yes, burned until they had to move.
What?
Yes. And at the time, my uncle was an electrician for this, for Delaware County.
And that's out there. Well,
And they had to,
well, you know what they did. Now I think, Ramona was out there. They just really blacks just Candace near
started
my
coming up
landlord,
in there.
They didn't let white.
Yeah, because it
blacks
was,
lived
when my
out there.
uncle, when my uncle
Lived
moved
in
there,
there.
there
Where
really
you
wasn't
are?
any blacks in that
Was
neighborhood.
Whiteley predominantly black still?
Yeah, but there's always
Oh,
been.
honey, no, Whiteley used
There's-
to. When I was born and raised in Muncie, we had white and black. lived out in there.
That's that way
Is it-
still,
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
still out. There's still
But
some
this
out
this
there.
whole area here where I live at now is mostly black. But I've been noticing here that there's
My
white
area,
people are,
Moving.
and I'm okay with it.
Mhm.
And I like
my
the
area, my
house got a little
block,
young white dude. He's moved right
predominantly
there.
white.
Where is this?
On 16th Street,
Yeah, can you
my
can you-
neyborhood's
Can you
predominantly
guys break
white.
it up and
Is
tell
it?
us like where the lines
Do
I
you
are?
think
didn't
there's
really
lines?
notice it
Yeah.
until we brought this up.
You guys-
I can't really tell you where the lines are because some of this is hidden.
What that?
The racism is hidden as far as what is that.
Yeah, but now they.
Like even in housing though, like if there are divisions almost of neighborhoods.
Well,
or
yeah,
areas.
so to speak. This area is predominantly black.
What is this area?
Like what would you define?
Industry.
Industrial. They call it the industrial
Where is
neighborhood.
it? Where are the boundaries? Like are there? Kind
The
of-
boundaries would be, I'm gonna tell you,
12th Street.
it would be from Macedonia.
Macedonia?
Well, there's still blacks up in there though.
Yes, there is. On the
I
other
can't
side
say
of
that.
Macedonia.
I can't
Kind of a fuzzy line. Kind
Yeah.
Of.
Yeah.
From Macedonia, but from Madison, back off of Madison, back that way.
Mhm.
Where the
And-
apartments are.
Yeah, well, just
Well,
come,
it's way
just
over
come all
there.
back
Yeah.
because Nicole's
Right.
up in that area.
Right.
Yeah.
There's
She is.
black, and that's
Does it extend to like
12th Street.
Montana and
Yeah,
there, like
Yeah.
Garfield Elementary, all this right in there?
Garfield. Yeah, well, there's some that
Let's
live
see.
beyond. Well, the boundary line would be 12th Street. If you 12th Street,
Madison.
Madison, Macedonia.
What's on
You're
this
going
side?
on that down
I'm making
to
a
the-
big.
No.
I'm gonna make a big square.
What's the other one then?
12th Street, Macedonia, Madison, and
Industry.
I'm gonna
Broadway
say
is
Main
industry.
Street.
Yes, I would say Main
I'm
Street
gonna
too.
say, that's a big gigantic square.
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna say Main Street.
And
A
went
lot of-
across street.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Is
then
it-
there's blacks moving into some of the predominant white areas off
Yes.
of on the other side of Madison, on the other side of
12th Street.
Memorial Street,
Kinda on the
on
borders.
the other side. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, a lot of them are moving out there in Shedtown, though.
No, that's what
No.
Tammy
Oh.
lives.
What shed town?
That's what Tammy lives. Morningside Edition.
Is that Shedtown?
Yes.
I thought
No,
Shedtown's
Shedtown's off
over
of
here.
12th Street.
That's Shedtown too.
It is?
Yes.
I've never heard.
What
Yes.
Morningside.
Yes. Yes.
Where- Morningside is
Where the
predominantly
really
white.
red-
Yes, it's
white
it's
people
another
versus
version.
white
It's
people.
Yes, it
it's
is.
part two of
Shedtown.
Shedtown.
Yes, it is.
And then where
And
the
she
really
was upset about we were just we won't call her name. We were just talking about her today, me and you. I said, woo woo. Remember what I'm talking about? You were just telling me that she was a good friend of somebody that you knew, related to you. She's related. She was a good friend of the person that was. We were just talking about on lunch break.
Oh, come on.
Anywho.
Anyway.
Her brother
Any-
is with married to a white lady. But you can edit that out.
Kim,
Yeah.
I think she is racist.
She is.
Oh,
Is she
Her
white?
mother- oh, her mother is-
White.
The executive director said she's got one more time and she's out of there because she's running off at her mouth.
who said that?
The executive
Racist?
director.
Is she being racist?
Yeah, saying certain things,
Oh, boy, you should.
like when 911 happened.
Mm-hmm.
She was your name?
This
But
was
I
this
heard what
one's
she
mother.
said. Yes,
She
I
was
sure
upset. Her mother
She's
was.
running her mouth.
This person was running her mouth. Well, they need to send them back where they come from. Talking about over there where it happened at. She said, I don't care. I call them spicks, niggas.
Uh-huh.
Oh, she started naming all kinds of stuff, and I was like,
Lord.
Just hold my peace, Laura, because I'm getting ready to.
because
get
I'm
up.
about to get up and about to get up, but I didn't. And she just and her and Tammy is.
So where are the predominantly white areas then? The rest of Muncie or?
Is there another pocket black
Well,
area?
no, because
or-
there's blacks moving into some of the
Everywhere.
wealthy neighborhoods as well. So
is
it's
it
not.
scattered?
Predominantly
Yeah.
white is Shedtown and Morningside.
As far as racism is talking about, is that what you're talking about, or is just as far as
Or just period?
okay, yeah. So it's everywhere a little bit now. If you truthfully about it, if you really want to know, because
But
they
you
sound can't stop them from moving in there.
No.
They
Even-
get upset.
No.
Even the
But see, they make it so bad for them, they'll move out.
Yeah.
Like burning that cross in their
Yeah.
yard, and the people got really afraid for their children.
do you think that stuff like the crosses and stuff, does that still happen?
Well,
Have you
this
heard
hasn't
of it?
been that long
Yeah, of
ago.
course.
You
it's
said
happening.
84.
And then
No, I
and,
mean this was
Yeah.
after '84.
and it's much worse than the cross burning now. They're doing doing a whole lot of other stuff than
See,
than
my
a cross
niece
burning
is
now.
Like what?
10, and we had a cross burnt in our yard.
Well, what do they
I
do
mean,
now?
because you have the
Oh, back when your sister was
Yeah.
what's the other one besides the Klan?
the
Aryan Nation.
The
Skinheads.
skinheads.
You got them. You know, they're doing
Got a
all
lot
kind
of
of
them
stuff.
in
You
Muncie.
know.
Well, what do they do instead of cross burning?
Oh, they're come up spraying their little symbols on your house, on your
anything.
anything they could get to spray it on.
Mm-hmm.
So can a house, can you make a home in these kind of conditions, or is
Well,
that why people have to move? Is because it
Well,
interferes with
they're
their
afraid.
home?
Yeah, if they're afraid for their children,
It's
you know.
almost 20 after.
So
Okay.
security.
Yeah.
Security is threatened, and then you can't make a home. Is that what?
Well, you can still make a home. But, you know,
You
that's
can make a home
inside.
regardless of what's going on.
But you know, you don't want to.
You just have to pay attention to the
Well,
surroundings.
that's right.
That's right, and you have to really listen to what they say because sometimes they're not. They can be talking to you so sweet, but they don't realize what they're saying to let you know. Yes, I'm racist.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do
You
you
know.
think, you think white lady and industry are predominantly black now, or are they mixed?
They're mixed, so pretty
Mixed.
good.
Yeah, there's a lot of
I mean,
mixed
it's
still.
like a little bit more blacks,
Oh yeah.
but it's
Not by much?
they're people are moving.
Do you think raising children in white lady or industry, which before were considered prominently black areas?
I lived in Whiteley
Did you-
and here, so it was predominantly black.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was some white
Well,
people.
back when I lived there, we had white and
Yeah,
black.
we did too. I did
Well, do
too.
you think that it's different raising a family there now compared to when it was?
Oh
considered
yes,
black?
now
The younger
How's it
generation, yeah.
different? How's it different?
it's harder to raise now because some out in Whitey, you have crack
Girl,
houses out
you
there.
got crack houses over
You
here.
got,
Yeah,
you know,
you do.
you got a lot of dangerous
West
situations
Adams, West Charles. It's all
Jeez.
predominantly white, but you've got
now. You got
crack
prostitutes
everywhere.
walking down the street
Prostitutes.
over here.
Yep.
You can see him. I seen one. I said that. You see him walking up, and you see him get. I used to sit at my girlfriend's and see him get out of one truck and get in the other truck right behind McDonald's.
I tell you where a good place for prostitutes is at is black and white prostitutes.
Mm-hmm.
Right down here on the corner of Madison and Kirby. That's where they
Excuse me,
be.
but SpongeBob's on in the kitchen.
So, what role do you think? Oh, do you need to go?
Yeah.
Take care, okay? Thank you so much.
Be careful going on.
Be
Yes.
careful. I sure will.
Okay.
You gotta get your car going.
Yeah, she gotta get that call, girl.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. See you work tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye,
Be careful.
Bye-bye.
Would you like my bottom lock on my handle?
So, what
Sure will.
what role do you think the community has then in making a home? You said like with the prostitutes and the crack houses. Is there a disconnection from the community which makes making the home different
Well, the
from
community has.
before?
It went now in one area where my sister lived. That the prostitutes used to walk up and down there on Elm Street, and their whole community got out there. They got out there with baseball bats, and they called the police. They got them out of their community.
I'll tell you.
But of course, you know, you have to have the law.
I'll tell you another bad area for prostitutes, black and white. Willard and Jefferson.
Willard and Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So-
That's another area.
Okay, well.
And one side is predominantly black, and the other side of the street is predominantly white.
So, do you think the neighborhood then can unite to combat? You said to kind of combat the negativity.
Mhm. If
Do you think it can
everybody-
also?
Yeah,
like
but
a
you got to
neighborhood
get everybody to get
crime
together to
watch
want to do that.
Right.
Because
They have-
sometimes when you combat, they retaliate. And you have to live there. I mean, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Sometimes you want to get the neighborhood to retaliate against a drug dealer, a prostitute. That drug dealer, please believe, is going to retaliate on you one way or another. If you know you had anything to do with trying to get him off of that, or pimps, or whatever it is, off of that block, you know. So you really have to be careful. Back in the days that they did that, yeah, but now you can't just...
Right. So
You
now it
can't
takes.
They just have to, you know, they used to have the crime watches, safe homes. They'd have signs in the window for safe homes. They used to do that
But you know,
for kids, you know. But now, The kids, I don't know if kids even pay attention to
They
it.
don't. They don't pay attention. Like this house right next door is empty, and this house.
You just have to talk to your kids.
Yeah, this house has been empty next door
like
to me.
you see on TV, they advertise on TV. You talk to your kids, no drugs, and what to say, how to do. You got to train them like they were going to combat.
And you have to pray that once they leave you, that they have absorbed all of that in and not fall prey to the drug dealers, crack, drugs, or anything. I'm surprised this isn't a crack house.
Why is that?
Because when the girl lived there, Debbie, the one that, Debbie Murphy coming, we had all, she used to live there. And it was a crack house coming and going because they were selling crack. That's how I had to get a line put in my house. Because I was so afraid to go. I mean, I don't have a whole lot. Please, I don't have a whole lot, but what I got is mine.
Yeah,
and I didn't want to go to work and come on, my stuff be gone. So that's why I had to get an alarm, was because when she was there. Now it's been empty since she's been gone. That's an easy target for a crack house or anything to go on in that house. So then I'm surprised that it hasn't happened, but by the grace of God, it hasn't happened.
So do you think when the community starts breaking down, the homes start breaking down?
Yeah,
so
people don't start keeping up, and now I'm gonna tell you another thing that happens. Sometimes, if the parents aren't strong people, and they have sons that are dealing crack and stuff, they frighten their parents so much that they take over the home.
Yeah, they
and
do.
Make that happen.
Yeah.
And make the home a crack house. Beat the parents down.
And that's so good that you said that, because my aunt in Buffalo, New York, she lives in a black area. There's drug dealers everywhere. This drug dealer come in, he lived with his mama, took over his mother's house, set up cameras that he could see in everybody's home.
What?
He could tell you what you're doing in your house. He could tell you, because he was the drug king of that whole block.
Oh,
yes.
God.
And stuff,
Scary.
Our cities aren't that big enough for that to happen. But the little stuff that we have going on here, there's more, just as much white drug dealers as it is.
Oh yeah,
and they're young.
And
they're young.
And they're
what is young?
About 11.
11.
Shoot, about 11 years old. 11-year-old drug dealer.
You know of one, or?
Yeah, I know of one. I know of several of them. Straight drug dealers.
How do you find out about them? Are they just? You just find out from word of mouth, or?
Yeah, and then if you know them, if you've been around him, you know exactly what that young little boy's doing.
Symptoms.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the paraphernalia on. That's the first sign to give him away. He's got his gold chains on, blah 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 blah. And he's even now driving a car. He might be. Yes, we had across the street had a nephew. I can't say no name. 11 years old, was driving a Mercedes Benz.
No, girl.
Yes. And it got so bad. It was funny to me. It got so bad that the person across the street be so tore up because he was dealing drugs too. That the 11-year-old had to ride him around, drove the car and rolled him around. Yeah, of course. And he was only 11. He's probably about 13 now. He's probably about 13, and then I think he's locked up if I'm not mistaken.
Jiminy Cricket. So you had to watch your back.
Yeah, because you could about tell, because if your child brings home male or female and they've got all this and they're young, how are they getting all that? And their parents aren't working. How'd you get that rock on your hand? How'd you get that big old gold chain? Something's going on.
So do you think if I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Do you think if the community is fragmented like this, I think she kind of just said this, but I want to make sure. If they're fragmented like this, can a home still be made in a community like that, or? And you mentioned before, like the things you used to do, like the front porch and the kids in the street and things like that, and so is it totally different now?
No, kids still hang out. Kids still hang out. Matter of fact, they were hanging out. Sunday when I left church. You know where they were hanging out? Right up there on Highland Avenue, up from the church. Cars, the teenage kids were hanging out. And I told Oni, I said, that's where my kids used to hang out.
Yeah.
But it's different. They might have been, I don't know, they probably were smoking pot, those kids back then, but it wasn't as bad
as it is. They still hang out at their corner there.
I
thought they stopped that.
They were up there Sunday.
I thought they stopped that. I thought they stopped that.
You know where they were? You know where Chester Shoemaker's...
they were
right... See, because Chester retired. They were right there, and on that corner, down from my mom's house from the church, the kids in cars parked up around there. I couldn't believe it.
Drinking, smoking, all kind of stuff.
Do you think there's things that are the same with making a home, like in this fragmented community now versus the more peaceful one in the past? Like, are there the similar things that are still happening that are keeping these homes together, or?
You know, like I said, they were still doing little drinking and stuff back then, and people were still making homes for their children. It just seems like it's harder type drugs now. People fought with their fists. Now they're using guns, you know, and stuff like that. So now I think that, like myself, I moved out of the neighborhood. Sometimes you have to go away from where the problem is, too, you know, to make your kids secure. You don't need to stay in a drug-ridden neighborhood.
And you find people that use that as so much of an excuse. Well, I don't have the yes, you do. You choose to be right here.
Right.
You're lazy. You don't want to get up out of this environment, you know. There was another household that moved in after Debbie moved right here, and they were drug dealers. And the sons were drug dealers. The mama was a drug dealer. They never messed with me because I didn't mess with nobody. I said, you know, you need to handle your business because I don't bother nobody, and I don't want to be bothered. And they never did mess with me. They never messed with me, and that's why it's important. I don't want to not say I don't socialize with nobody, but I don't, because it's better that way. That I'm not over on her porch having a good time talking or borrowing on hers or his. I stay to myself, and when you stay to yourself in the air like that, that pretty much won't mess with you.
But you still like, you know, you still are accountable to somebody.
Yes.
Like your people come by. You know, you have to be accountable. Someone has to. You know, you have to look out. Someone has to look out for you. That's what I'm trying to say. But you have your daughters coming over. You know, your mother comes over. People that kind of watch out for you.
Well, you know, me and the person across the street, we were only two to look out for each other. I would go, like, if I was going to Richmond, stay for 2 weeks, they made sure that wasn't nobody messing with my house.
Right.
If they had to go, I always kept eye on his house as well, you know.
Yes, that's what I mean. You have to have some safe place that you know that's safe.
Exactly, exactly.
What role does extended family have in making a home? Because you just mentioned, like, your daughters and stuff. Is there a lot relating to, like, your aunts and uncles or cousins that, like, pulls events into your home that make it a home, or?
Well, I have one sister here that my kids really are crazy about, and they can go to her home, you know, and feel just to, you know, feel at home and call on her just like they can me. Now, you know,
everybody in my family wants to come to my house. It's kids. Everybody wants to be here. This house right here. Everything that goes down has to be here.
And you know, you're like me. See, I'm a homebody anyway, and I'd rather for people to come to where I am.
But see, sometimes I get tired of that. Sometimes I want to go to them now. I want to get up out of here.
Because I never used to like to travel. I want to go any
tired
place.
of throwing shindigs and stuff here all the time. I want to go to somebody else's house and relax.
And so you won't have to clean up.
Yeah, enjoy myself. But everybody wants to come here.
See, because they
my
have
kids want to come here. Toonie wants to be clanked up over here.
Right.
My mother wants to be clanked up over here. So.
What is different with black families from when you were growing up to now?
As in my family, or black families,
general.
period?
Well, even just your or either way, like however you see it.
I believe that has to do with the generations of.
You know, generations change.
Yes, nothing stays the same. I mean,
and
you know,
like I raised my kids different than Kim raised her kids because we were from the back generation. Now people have to look at how they're raising their kids to what's going on today. What can they let their kids do? There's so many, like we had said before, so many high-tech things now. So, you know, you just have to look at where
you sort of have to go with the flow of what's going on as far as how you would do certain things. You know, because you can't be, you can't be stuck on how you was, because that plays out. Right. You know, you can't be stuck on how you was raised or what you do. You have to sort of go with that little flow of what's going on and try to take it from there, whatever's happening at that particular time.
What are some of the programs that they have for single mothers?
Let's see. It's
programs.
As in
like the community, like.
Well, they have that Planned Parenthood they can go to.
But when I got pregnant, I was 15 years old when I had my child, going on 16. At the time, I could take my child to school with me at a program that they had
Oh yeah, at the
at the Y for unwed mothers. And we were allowed to take our babies to school with us and continue our education at the same time. Now they do have programs like that at the Area Career Center. That can unwed mothers, well, I don't know if they call it unwed mothers, single mothers now probably, that can take their children to school with them so they can continue their education and get a GED or possibly graduate from school. Southside has something going on right now that it benefits, what grade is Kelly's daughter, in the 10th, 9th, 10th?
It was 10th maybe?
Okay, I think it's the 10th graders that some of the single mothers can bring their children up there, and it offers the sophomores, whatever, a chance to know what single parenting is like. So there's a program like that. But other than that, I couldn't really tell you. But Planned Parenthood, like you said, bed and britches for single mothers who can't get anything for their, just little organizations like that.
Okay. Do you feel better working and knowing other single mothers? Like, do you feel more support and more like you're understood?
You know,
if you were by yourself.
You guys are kind of, I mean, your kids are grown, so I guess it's different now, but even your experience in the past.
Say that again.
I'm misunderstood. What did you say?
Just knowing that, like, you working with someone else and you're friends with someone else who has been a single mother and understand where you're coming from, like, do you think that makes you feel more like you're not the only one?
Well, I knew I wasn't the only one. I mean,
millions of people.
I know that.
Does it help, like, any advice to Nicole, or like you guys have some sort of like instant connection, knowing that you both kind of went through the single mother process?
Well,
I
it
never
depends
really thought
because
about that,
yeah.
I was doing.
It depends.
I didn't look at the other people really.
Me either. I looked at what my situation was, what I knew what I had to do, and how I had to survive to raise my children. I couldn't compare what you were doing with your kids. I had to raise my kids the way I needed to raise my children.
Made you feel,
right. I had to do what I had to do. So.
Do you think that single parenting is a growing concern in Muncie?
Of course it is. You got babies with babies,
we
holding one. There was a young lady I seen last summer. She was, and I know she couldn't have been no more than, like the woman I'm telling you about, for instance. But this young lady couldn't have been no more than 17. Had one in the hand, pregnant. Then the lady I was telling you about that comes down through our, she is 25.
Oh yeah.
And she got 8 kids. She's 25 years old, and I'm just like, ooh.
And then this lady I know, her daughter was 12 when she had a baby.
Of course.
And the two guys that are going to got sentenced.
So do you think it's more people are?
It's more now than it was when we were coming. More single mothers, it's double.
Why do you think that is? Is it just changing times again?
It's changing
and the
times.
Parents, do you think parents have as much control?
That's control.
They do, because the kids nowadays
seem like they run. The parents, they're I don't know.
The parents act like they're scared of their kids. I'm not scared of my kids. No, please, by far I'm not.
That's what I'm.
Is it because more parents are working? Or
it's becoming it's working, and there's more single parents,
and they got more
one parent housing.
Right.
And what we're seeing now is, it used to be the statistics were more of the female. Now you're seeing male parent, raising the children as well. So it's just changing. It's just doubling on everything on both sides, I think, a little bit.
It sounds like a lot of stuff you're saying, maybe this is just me picking up, but it sounds like with a lot of stuff you're saying, like the drugs and that kind of stuff are more predominant, or biracial families are more predominant, and then the single parent thing is more predominant. It just sounds like maybe it's not always increasing, but it's more in your face. Like,
right.
Yes. And you have grandparents. You have grandparents becoming parents all over again, raising their children's kids. That's also there.
Are there married couples in the community that have influence over single parents, or are sort of a mentor position? Do you think, like, is that happening where they're?
I think there's a few, but most of the time, people are busy with their own lives. I think you might find a few that really are mentors.
And they really don't want to get into your business like that, as far as trying to be a mentor.
See, nowadays you can't get into folks' business.
No, because they don't like that.
You can't go up there and do that now. Like we say back in the day, my mother could get children off the street and give them a bath and wash them, send them on home, make them mind, whip them, send them home, they get another whipping. Now you can't do that because the parent would come on you, be ready to shoot you.
Now,
if you try,
if you gave another parent's child a bath, he gonna say, "What you trying to say? I'm dirty?
Yeah.
What you trying to say? I'm not to keep my kids clean?"
You know,
You
can't.
So it's a
with
conflict.
Like with the breakdown of community, they kind of makes it so like kids are saying like, well, I can do this, like I can smoke pot in my car parked on a corner during the day because you don't know me, so you're not going to call my mom and tell her, and if you do,
And they really wouldn't care if you did.
Right.
You know, that's exactly what it's like. He can be parked in front of your house and smoke. He can say, "What you gonna do? You can go do nothing."
Right, because people
because people are afraid. People are just saying, "I'm going to tend to my own business." You know what I mean?
I tend to my own business because, first of all, I'm not the type of person. I'm not going to tell your business. I don't want to know about what you're doing. What you're doing is your business. I take care of what's going on in my home. If you're doing drugs in your home, or you're selling, that's your business. I don't have anything to do with that. As long as you're not putting that on my business, I can.